Now I'm there.
Let me end you from this other side.
Okay.
Wow, we are live. This feels
Yeah, we're live now.
different and good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we are live now. How are you, Coach?
I'm very good. How are you?
How are you? How are you?
I'm very good myself. I hope
How are
you are
you,
good
Coach
too.
Lovemore?
Can you hear me?
I'm all right. I thank God. I had a good day.
Oh, great.
So we thank God for that. So welcome to. Yes, I'm very fine. It's my first time to use. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you, Coach. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Coach, good, good. Okay. Yeah, so welcome to Angela Zilani show, which is a show which is it's kind of very new. It's been there, but right now we're doing something very new. So I'm calling it a new channel. It's been
Yeah.
Angela Zilani show, but I don't want to continue calling it Angela Zilani show. I'm going to be changing it to Angelique Achievers show so that we all feel included. I think it's a more inclusive name. So welcome to Angelique Achievers show. And this is our first episode of our Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we are going to be having a live video. We are going to be having guests who come and talk to us about their expertise. And today I am joined by Coach Lovemore. You know, a friend of mine today was asking me, who is this person with a lot of love?
Uh,
The
yeah.
name, yes. And I said, yeah, he's full of love. He's surrounded, especially by so many women in his life. He has
Of
two
course, of
daughters
course.
and a wife. So,
You have to have lots of that when dealing with women.
yes. Yeah, so you're surrounded by women, you have a wife, and you have two daughters, and you
Yes, of
work with
course.
women, and you help women to grow in their negotiation skills
Yeah.
and many other things as an executive coach. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our speaker of the day, who is Coach Lovemore Kuwana, all the way from Zimbabwe. I am in Kenya myself, and today's topic is about women and negotiation, which is one of his signature products. And I'm going to introduce him properly as who he is, the deserving coach that he is. So he is an executive coach from Zimbabwe, and he is a negotiation coach as well, who specializes in negotiating, in coaching women in negotiation, especially in the workplace. He has worked with thousands of women from across the globe and helped transform their lives through his negotiation classes and seminars. I am a beneficiary of one of his classes, the negotiation class, Women and Negotiation. So I can attest to the kind of coach he is. And I even up to now, it's been what, 2 years, and up to now, I still go back to my notes and refer when I feel stuck or I'm losing momentum. So he also works with all levels of women, from students to executives. So young girls as well, I believe. And Lovemore is a married man. He's also a father of two daughters. Is it two daughters, or is it in my mind, or because
Two.
I've
Yes.
seen
Yes.
daughters? Yes. And maybe this is the reason why he's fallen in love with this work of empowering women. He's also an author. His book is in Amazon. Please go and look at it. It's called Stop the Clock, which is a personal development book. Lovemore is also fascinated by the subject of culture and has also co-authored Engage Zimbabwe, a cultural intelligence handbook for effective diplomacy, and Heritage Keepers, a student's encyclopedia in Zimbabwe's cultural heritage with his brother. These two books have received national recognition in Zimbabwe. So he's also a mentee of our renowned PLO Lumumba. I think that is a name that is already is known. It's a public name. I can say that, maybe for lack of better words. So he is a mentee of Lumumba. So I want to welcome you, Coach, and I'm so excited to have you in our first episode. I think there cannot be any better topic for the day and for the beginning of this program than women and negotiation, especially in the workplace. I know we negotiate in so many things, but if we can master the art of negotiation for women, and especially in the workplace, then we can negotiate anywhere else, because I believe that is the hardest place for us to negotiate. And as a woman, speaking from my point of view as a woman, negotiation as a woman is not an easy thing. We tend to receive what has been given to us. We tend to kind of submit at home, and we forget that in the workplace, that's not the place to submit. That's the place to do your work and claim your space. So because we are created to nurture, we forget that we are also there to to find our space and thrive. And we cannot thrive when we are holding ourselves short. So I am so excited for this topic. For me, I have my pen and my notebook here, and I'm ready. I'm ready to listen, and I'm ready to learn. So I hope you are too. I see. Let me just recognize one of our guests who is live. Lydia Ogoti, thank you for being here. She's saying, I cannot wait to be empowered. I'm also looking forward to having many more viewers. I know some of them, because of time, may have to watch this recording later. But welcome, Coach, and please feel free. The stage is yours. Introduce yourself, although I have, but tell us something and why this topic of the day.
Okay, thank you very much for the honor of being the first presenter on your show. I don't take it lightly, and I'm going to do my best to share what I know and what I have, and I'm also hoping to learn from people here if we are going to get questions and people also contributing. So you said, why this topic? So this is how I always start my session when I'm teaching negotiation. So when God created us, He created us needy. Everybody has a need. You can't give yourself everything that you need. And so that means God has, by design, made sure that we rely on each other to satisfy and fulfill the needs, the wants that we each have. So why negotiation? So the moment you realize that you have a need that you cannot meet, but somebody else can meet, we say conflict has started. Just by you realizing that I have a need which needs to be met, and the person to meet this need is not necessarily is not me, but somebody else. So that already starts what we call internal conflict, right? So a lot of people think that they want to avoid, they would rather avoid conflict. They don't want to be involved in conflict. But today I want to tell people that conflict starts the moment you just realize that you have a need that has not been met. That's internal conflict. It has to proceed to the next stage, which is called the where you express that internal conflict. You are now giving it an outlet. But this is where usually most people, especially women, fail, because they then bottle it in and never get to express it. So negotiation, it becomes the tool by which you resolve that conflict. So that's why negotiation is important.
Wow. So now, what does negotiation mean in the context of now in the workplace? And in your experience, what do you think negotiation skills are? Why do you think they are so important for professional growth?
Okay. All right. So we are now moving it from the general position that I gave you just earlier to the workplace.
Yes.
So negotiation is a skill in the workplace. It's a skill that involves articulating and communicating your needs, your wants, to reach a mutually beneficial solutions or mutually beneficial positions. So that means in the workplace, you want to negotiate for resources that will make you successful. It is that skill that is required to help you help you negotiate those for those resources that you need. And in doing so, you're also cognizant of the fact that as I'm asking for these resources, I should also empathize with the person from whom I'm asking. For example, if you're asking for support from from your boss as a resource that you need, you also need to also in your mind have it in your mind that they also have other things that they are doing. So in the end, it's a give and take.
Okay.
Yeah. So negotiation in the workplace usually has to be collaborative.
Yeah, and I think we fail a lot because we look at it like I am here to get. I am here. Mostly we look for work because we are looking for something. We want to get, we want to receive. And we forget that we are also there to serve. So it's a give and take situation. And if we don't look at it that way, then we are not measuring and giving worth to what we are giving. So we are just
Yeah.
there to receive. So unless we are there to both receive and give, then I think we can be able, that's the time we can be able to really negotiate properly, because we have given value to what we are negotiating for. Am I wrong
Yes.
or right?
No, you are very right. So this is the posture that anyone going into a negotiation in the workplace should have. If you go into a negotiation, so one of the reasons why people hesitate to go into negotiations is because they think negotiation is about going to take something and then running away with it. That that means winner takes all. So I think it's important for me also to lay bare that uh, negotiation falls on a spectrum. All right. On the one end is people who are more self-sacrificing.
Yeah.
That means I lose, you win. You go into that kind of negotiation and you sacrifice your own needs when you know that, okay, I've been loaded with piles of work. I actually don't have capacity to do this work, but I still accept and say, yeah, I will do it. You're self-sacrificing, right? And
Yeah.
neglecting your own needs of number one, being able to perform, number two, being able to have time to also refresh yourself and stuff like that. So you become overwhelmed because you are sacrificing yourself. So that's on the one extreme end. Then on the other extreme end is the winner takes all. In that kind of negotiation, it's dog eat dog. When you are in that kind of negotiation, it's I'm coming in here to take everything that's there and I go. All right.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
somewhere in between, uh, is a balance where and as you move from the left towards the right on the continuum, there are varying degrees of self-sacrifice and so for me, what I would say to you, the posture that you should get in the workplace, because it's a collaborative space, it's a place where you want to build trust, because business is achieved through trust. Yeah. So if you are going to do that, you need to get into the negotiation with the kind of posture and position that is collaborative, that is saying, I'm coming in to give you a little of what you want, and also I get a little of to give you
What
a
you
little,
have.
and also to get a bit of what I want, and
Yes.
together we are happy and we can uh, move on with our work.
Uh-huh. Now, in the work sector, especially in the workplace, especially now when it comes to gender, looking at the genders, two genders, I think men negotiate better than women. And if you look at the number of women in the leadership positions, it is less than the number of leadership in the men of men. Why is it so? And is there an approach that men are using which is different from what we are doing that is making us maybe be a little bit behind? And men are always, or majority of men are the ones leading. Why is it that they have the grit to fight better than we do? And what can we do to adjust to that that gap?
Okay, so that question is why I actually got into negotiation for women.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because uh, I'll say it anyway, that women don't negotiate. That's the
Wow.
bottom line.
That's
So,
harsh.
yeah, women shun the opportunity to negotiate. So, there are two types of negotiations. There are negotiations of necessity and there are negotiations of opportunity. Negotiation of necessity is a negotiation where you have no choice but to go onto the table and negotiate. So let me give an example. You get a boyfriend and things happen and you get pregnant. You have no choice but to start to get this person to sit down with you. How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to get married? How are we going to take care of this child? That's a negotiation of what? Of necessity. You can't
Necessity.
say, yeah, you can't say, okay, I'm pregnant. You can go. I'll deal with this. In this type of negotiation, uh, um, you have no choice. You've just been plunged into, and that's how negotiation comes about. At times, it's just not about you sitting down to prepare to get into a negotiation or things like that. But things just happen. You find yourself having to negotiate. Now, this is the kind of negotiation that women are known for.
Yeah.
Women, they are ready for this kind of negotiation. I mean, put them in that corner, they will negotiate. Okay? Right.
Yeah.
Then the second type of negotiation is negotiation of opportunity. Now, that's where the difference comes between men and women. Because men, even if they don't have what is required, they will
Yeah.
still say, I want to try.
Yeah.
I will. Here in Shona, we say, Ndofiram, try. I will die trying. You see, I'll die trying. Men are that brave, and they will dive in for any opportunity. So there's a promotion that's coming up. Women would usually, even if they have all the qualifications, they would look at themselves. They would start to think, ah, am I worth it? Should I even try? Will I even will they even consider me? So there's a lot that they do. So in terms of negotiation, and this is even through research, that women fall short of their male counterparts when it comes to negotiations of opportunity. They
Mm.
they thrive more on the negotiations of what? Of necessity.
And I think
So
we women we stand aside and wait to be validated first.
yeah,
And if you don't validate yourself first, then nobody is out there to wait to validate you. You have to validate yourself. And I
yeah.
think men have, it's like a god-given gift. So I don't know whether we are forever going to be falling short, because it feels like it's a god-given gift, especially in Africa, where a woman chasing a man is a taboo. It's a never heard of thing. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine recently, and I was telling him that, because he was telling me, "Hey, Angela, you seem to be a very nice woman. How come you're not married yet?" I said, "Because unfortunately, I belong in Africa where I cannot chase. If I chase, I'm a bad woman. So,
Just go
so
and face them.
yeah, so I have to wait and be chased. So."
Uh,
And
okay,
then the
yes. So
chasers kind of, they look at me and see, hey, this woman is doing a lot. Will she ever
yeah,
be able to submit to me? So now I'm waiting to be validated in that angle. But
mm,
the ones to validate me are now. I don't know. There's a mix up somewhere. There's a gap somewhere. So we were born knowing, or we were raised knowing that we are supposed to be validated, and men are born and taught that they are chasers. They can go out there and chase, and they should be hunters. So they have to go hunt and come home with their prey. So I
Yeah.
think I don't know, maybe how do we close that gap? Is it really possible to close that gap, or can we narrow it a little bit? What can we do?
Yes. Okay. So it then shows up in, isn't it? We're talking the workspace.
Yes.
So us, okay. By saying us, I'm talking about women, right? Understand me when I say that, because I'm thinking we are in a closed space for women. So
Yes.
so as we do not, or as we shy away from the negotiation table, we are the ones responsible for creating the gender gaps that exist in the workspace. Okay, not entirely though, because I know the workspace, initially when it was created, women were supposed to stay at home and
Mm,
men were supposed to be the ones going to work.
yes.
Back then when we started. So there was some kind of patriarchal system that dominated the workspace, and that's why it became difficult for women to be accepted, to get into leadership positions, to get into, even into, just into the workspace. So there
Mm,
are at times some systematic prejudices that put aside women, uh, where the system sort of favors males, where the system takes attributes that are more, that would be regarded as uh, as more masculine, to be
mm,
a measure of what success is in the workplace. So,
mm,
for example, uh, aggression, aggression. If you put, if you pick a random man and a random woman, it is likely the man is more aggressive, and so aggression became a standard by which performance, say in sales, is measured. He is aggressive, and a woman can't do that because she's not aggressive.
mm.
You, you get what I'm saying? And so people
Yeah.
get made so a woman would then come there and be more conciliatory. They are not aggressive. They are more even self-sacrificing. You see, things like that. So that's the first one. The second one now is, of course, we contribute ourselves as women when we also then just stay away, because first of all, you're not taking the opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by us staying away, men just take the opportunity and then go in there. They get all the promotions, they become the leaders, and you just have to follow suit. That's also the second one. Then the third one is that the gender gaps then begin to grow. For example, uh, go to any workplace where a salary is negotiated. I'm not talking about those places where where a certain grade everybody gets the same salary. That's a different case. I'm just talking about an organization where you come in and you have the opportunity to negotiate your salary, even if you are on the same level. You are
Yeah.
going to find a big percentage of, or a disparity in in the what, in the salaries, which is creating the salary gender gap. And why is that so? Because women don't negotiate. women are thinking, it's a good, I've been favored already by getting the work. Whatever is there is what I will get. So they are also haunted by social expectations to say, if I do ask for more, I'll be treated as a greedy person. I'll be treated as a selfish person. Men don't care about that. They'll just say, hey, I think my worth is this. Give me so much. It's the organization that will have to start to say, yeah, we see what you're saying and we see the value you're offering. Can we negotiate you down? You see. But women, it's more like, no, what are you offering? I'll take that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I see our viewer, Lydia Ogoti, has said, can we also say that women tend to be emotional when it comes to negotiating and it is perceived as manipulation or seduction? And could it be women lack the basic skills of negotiation? I think the basic skill of, I don't know, me being emotionally stable when you're negotiating. Why do we lack that? And maybe you can address that also. The
yeah, okay.
emotional part of the woman.
So, first of all, let me say that negotiation is a learnable skill. And that's why I ran those programs on negotiation for women, because negotiation is a what? Is a learnable skill.
Yeah.
So anybody who takes the time and trouble to go through negotiation training, and you know what? Lots of people do not know that negotiation is trainable. And as a result, they don't, you'll be surprised. Go to any organization, even your regulatory authorities like the reserve banks, get to talk to the CEO, to the finance manager, to whoever is there, you'll find out that very few of them have actually taken some negotiation training. Yet I believe for me, it's the most basic skill that should be taught to everybody. So if you just happen to learn just a little bit of it, you are above the average person in the world. And guess what? You will always have a leading edge, no matter what it is, in the workspace, in in salaries, whatever it is. If you just do get that training, you are far, far ahead of the average person. So negotiation is a skill that must be learned. And so, yes, women need to get that skill honed in them, just like even men also need to, just like anybody else. So for me, I would advocate that negotiation be taught right from primary school or even kindergarten. Okay? Right. So yes, women have to learn. Then let me address the issue of the emotions. Right. So emotions play a big, big part in negotiation. And when you are faced with hostile negotiators, or when you are faced with the negotiations that are not collaborative, that are more aggressive, that kind of negotiation is actually based on unethical, on some kind of unethical behavior during the negotiation, which includes manipulation, which includes trying to get someone into their stress patterns, into their lower stress patterns, so that they okay. So here's what happens when you are negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
There are levels of stress patterns that we go through
Yeah.
uh, in life.
Yeah.
So at the at there's right now what we're doing right now, we are
Yeah.
talking at our factual level. It's an emotional state of how we are
Yes.
responding to the stress of facing the screen, of me answering the difficult questions you're asking me. And you see, so I've got some kind of a way that I emotionally I am handling that, and and staying composed even though you're roasting me with those questions, but to stay in control. So that happens at a level called what? The factual level. So
Okay.
at
Yeah.
the factual level, you can actually uh, you can actually perform any kind of negotiation at that level. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
But then what happens is that when you are pressured more, all right, when you are
Mm,
pressured more, what will happen is that you will regress to a lower level of your emotions, um, which we call, what do we call those? Your childhood stress patterns. So when you regress to those levels, you have now gone back to the stress patterns that how you used to negotiate before you got trained, how you used to
mhm.
negotiate when you were a child. Remember when you were a child and your mother it takes away a spoon from you, you start crying. That's where you see people starting to cry in a negotiation. You are talking
Mm,
and the heat is going up, you see someone starting to cry. So, what are some of the things that a child does? Throwing tantrums. Have you seen people throw tantrums in negotiation? Yes, it's
yeah.
because the other party has succeeded in removing them from the factual level where they are most effective to come up with a good outcome. And they're doing that because when you then make decision, you are making a decision for a CEO, but in with your childhood patterns. It's like taking a kindergarten emotional state and say, you with this state make this decision. You see what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? I don't know if it's
Yeah.
clear. So
Mm,
if
yeah.
the stress continues, you go even to another lower level of stress pattern, which is now called what do you call that? Your instinctive stress patterns. Now,
Mm,
these instinctive stress patterns are those things that you do without thinking. This time there's no thinking at all. You are just
mm,
responding and reacting. That's where you see someone pick a cup and throw it somebody on the negotiation table, or
yeah.
or or whichever way. So you see, we approach, we show up in different ways. Some of us are instinctive. Some people, their instinct is just emotional. They become very emotional. Maybe they begin to cry, or maybe whatever they do. Some
Mm,
are with fear as an instinct. Some with pride. Some with whatever it is. You then react from there, and you know why that is coming from. It's also coming from your upbringing as a child, which has formed those instincts as your dominant instincts in life.
yeah.
So you have to be taught emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is your ability to remain, regardless of the situation, regardless of the stress that's being thrown at you, that
Yeah.
you remain in the factual level where you are going to be most effective. in discharging your negotiation abilities.
Wow.
I don't know
So
if I've answered her.
I think you have, because I think I had the same question, and it's something that that really affects so many of us. And maybe to add on to that, I think maybe I can also say that it is fear that is we do act on fear that is guided by our childhood traumas a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So we need to learn more about managing our emotions and being in the present moment, so that we can be able to, to apply these skills at the present moment with what we are dealing with. So staying in the present at the time. So emotional intelligence, I think, comes to play. And our childhood traumas, we need to heal them, just to know that they do not need to control us, but we need
Yeah.
to heal from them.
Yes.
So I think, yeah. So now, what can organizations or employers do to create a safe space for women who are negotiating, so that they negotiate confidently? What would you recommend that companies, organizations, or recruiters will do, so that they encourage women to negotiate confidently?
Mhm. Okay, so I think first of all, the organizations need to be true to themselves.
Yeah.
Do an audit of the gaps that exist within the organization, uh, and if they can pin the gaps to the to the lack of negotiation, then
Mm,
they should take it upon themselves to develop these people uh, to become more competent in their negotiation skills. Yeah,
mm,
and by developing their people to become good negotiators, it is to the benefit of the organization. Imagine an organization with everybody who is competent in negotiation. I'm telling you that that workspace would be a marvel to work in.
yeah,
And besides, negotiation, good negotiation is value creating. It creates value because it allows people to, where the value is created in a negotiation. It
yeah,
is it is when this person uh, who has information and whatever resources they have, and this person who has information and resources that they have, when the two meet together in a negotiation, that's where the value is created.
yeah. So I think
So
it. Mhm.
yeah, so organizations need to be proactive in actually trying to find out why there are those gender gaps and
Mm,
close those gender gaps. And I think there should actually be an index that measures this kind of inequality within the workspace,
mm.
and leadership should actually be appraised on their efforts to close those gaps.
Wow. So maybe
Yeah.
we can say handling each, maybe like interviewee, or each individual like an individual. If I'm a woman, I have my own qualities as a woman. So the same pressure, the pressure that is, or the questions that will be given to the male gender should not be the same questions that should be given to the female gender. Because let's be honest, we have seen women in the same positions as men, and women end up performing even better than the men, but they had to wear some kind of masculinity for them to win that job. So they did not just get it being feminine, they had to wear something, they had to have some kind of mindset that enabled them to get that job. So
Okay,
it's a
well,
job that is more masculine, but they still get it as women.
no. Okay, for me, the questions should be the same.
Okay.
They should be the same. It is just that women need to be taught about self advocacy. Yeah.
Yes.
Self advocacy means, okay, it's like you going to a court of law and you know that you cannot articulate the language, the legal language that is spoken in the court. And then you instead of hiring a lawyer, you leave a lawyer at that level and go to the higher level of Professor Lumumba, who is an advocate,
Yes.
right? Why are you getting an advocate? Because you want the best possible representation, right? So when I say self advocate, I am saying train yourself to give the most uh, competent representation of your own abilities. And there is no one with the level of depth or who has the level of depth of understanding of who you really are and what your competencies are and what you can do. So when you fail, when you yourself fail to advocate for yourself, you have just not done yourself any favor. There is no male or female in that. It's just you accepting who you are and
Yeah.
doing that unapologetically and knowing that I am actually employed by myself to be the best representation of who I am and how I'm going to show up to the people that are looking at me and asking me questions. Yeah.
So, and I think that will kill this some of the internal barriers that we put on ourselves. You know, those self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt, the fear of rejection. That will help us to as we keep practicing. And I like what you said earlier that this is a skill that can be learned. It's not something that you're born with. It's a skill that, with proper guidance, you can learn. So I think that with more practice, we can learn to kill those internal barriers that stop us from asking for what we deserve and stop doubting ourselves, because we really doubt ourselves a lot. By the time you even leave your home to go somewhere to do some kind of negotiation, you've already shut the door in your head, and you will go and do a shoddy presentation and not even get the job. So, do you believe that there is a way we can close that gender gap when it comes to negotiation? And what significant impact will it have on in the workplace, at the workplace, if we look at it like, equality? I know men don't like hearing the word equality, but is there a possibility of closing that gender gap?
Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is to enroll into my class.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's a very good question. There's something that women don't know. leadership and the workspace has evolved a lot from the time of the industrial revolution to the whatever to the stage that we are in now. Yeah, the workspace has so much evolved, and you know what it has evolved to? It has evolved to collaborative processes. All right?
Yeah.
That should be very, very good news to women because collaborative processes thrive on attributes that are ordinarily attributed to women. For example, women are nurturing. Just the fact that you carry a baby in your womb, you give birth to that baby, you breastfeed that baby. So just by your makeup, women are nurturing. All right?
Yeah.
Men, on the other hand, are not. Men are more selfish. All right? So
Yes.
so if you take that and you are talking about a collaborative negotiation, who is likely to succeed in a collaborative process? Someone who is nurturing or someone who is selfish?
The one who is likely to succeed.
Yes. So already you have a plus. You have a plus on your arsenal of negotiation, of the collaborative negotiation, which is the negotiation that you should apply in the workplace. So that's number one. Number two, let's talk about ethics. It's pick random man, woman who is likely to exhibit ethical behavior between men and a woman. Who is likely to take a bribe without even thinking about it?
The man.
The man. So you see what that means when it comes to collaborative negotiations. Ethics is a big part of those kind of negotiations. And women by their nature and nature and socialization somehow would shun things like unethical behavior, which in the end adds to your arsenal on negotiation, on collaborative negotiation, when you are talking when you sit with somebody who is unethical. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me talk about the third one. Women thrive when they have a communal orientation. You know what that means?
Yeah.
When you have an out of the room party that you are representing, a woman will represent you much better, will negotiate much better for you if you're out of the room, than a man will. Because a man is more what? Is more selfish.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So how is that beneficial? There are very few negotiations that we do which do not have an accountability outside the room. Very few of them.
Yeah.
When you negotiate for a salary, for example, you are thinking about your children at home. That's an out of the party room.
Yeah.
You are thinking about uh, uh, your parents. You're thinking about all those people. So, because women have a better communal orientation than men, when you place them in a position where they are having to negotiate for their department, for the raise of others, so that's also one thing that women can do. They can
Mm.
go and advocate very well for others or any other party which is not themselves. You
Yeah.
see, right? So what I've just been trying to show you here is that um, the workspace has moved from coercive processes to collaborative processes, and women should thrive in that kind of
Yeah.
environment. So women just need to understand that they are more powerful naturally in the way the work environment has evolved, and
Yeah.
because of that, they if they were taught and were aware of this, then negotiation should be something very, very, very easy for them.
Easy.
And also to understand that negotiation is not fighting, it is a problem solving
Wow. Still.
tool. Yeah. So when you understand that you are coming in to solve a problem, then
Yeah.
you see. So
I think.
maybe the last one
Uh-huh.
is that in collaborative negotiations, creativity,
Mm.
creativity is a virtue.
Uh-huh.
Now, between a man and a woman, who is who is more flexible, who is more malleable, who is more rigid between the two, generally?
The men are more rigid. Women
The
are a
men
bit
are more
more
rigid,
flexible.
which also makes them very poor negotiators in collaborative negotiations.
Yeah.
What? So what are creative solutions? You have an orange, and you have an orange, and you have two people or three people that want that orange. But these three people need three different things from the orange. The one
Mm.
wants the peel so that they can make their marmalade jam. The other one wants the seed because they have a plantation that they want to work on. The other one wants the pulp so that they make their juice.
Mm.
So a creative negotiator will say, okay, rather than him getting everything and going and then throwing away the pills and eating what they want, why don't we do it this way? Let's find a way to peel the orange, give this one the peel, give this one the seeds, then I will take the flesh and use it for my. That's creativity, which is demanded in collaborative negotiation. And because women are more flexible, they are more able to come up with creative. So it's just a matter of women getting to know what I'm just telling you, and they
Mm.
will become, that gap will go away so fast.
Yeah. I think you're right. And when we were beginning, I said I talked about submission, the way we submit at home, and then we go submitting at work, and so we should not look at submission as a weakness, or it's the weaker party who submits. I think it's the stronger party who submits, because we give up our lives, we give up our names, we give up our identity to start a new identity as a grown person. So I think we are stronger than men when it comes to looking at it from the mental point of view and the emotional point of view. Excuse me. So to summarize our talk for today, our presentation for today, I don't know what has come to my throat. To summarize our presentation for today, Coach, give us one transformative message for women about negotiation. And so if you were to give us one transformational message, what would it be from your point of view? And from where you sit as a coach with your experience having coached women in this same topic.
Okay. I think what I can just say to women is believe in yourself. You have everything that it takes for you to succeed in any situation you find yourself in. You have what it takes. Believe in yourself. And you can actually start the work to do that. And how do you start the work to do that? It starts with, I want whoever is listening to go and look at what is called the self-talk cycle. Self-talk cycle. So the self-talk cycle is your ability to be able to control what you say to yourself. Every day when you wake up, what do you tell yourself? What is it that is in that internal dialogue that you have with yourself? What are you saying about you? What do you tell yourself? Because it's so important what you tell yourself, because it is your self-talk that creates the platform for you to then show up in the world. The platform for self-talk is the self-image. So self-talk creates your self-image, and the image is like, you know the diving board that those swimmers use, the diving board.
Mm-hmm.
That diving board is the platform that is created by your self-talk. You tell yourself, what you tell yourself creates your self-image, which is the diving board. So work on that to start believing in yourself. I think that's my message to women.
And I think that's a very strong message, because your biggest voice will be the voice you speak to yourself. We have so many committees in our heads, so many voices that speak to us unconsciously, because of our experiences, because of where we've been, because of the things that we've been through, what our caregivers put in us as we were growing up, and all these unconscious thoughts. They control a lot of what we go through and how we speak to ourselves. And we end up saying so many negative things to ourselves that we cannot say to even to our worst enemies. So, so I think learning to kill that voice is very important. I like what you've said about the self-talk cycle. This is something that we all need to look at and learn from it. I think this is a big lesson that we all have learned. Whoever is going to watch this video, because it's also recorded on my YouTube page, I think there's a lot of information that you have. And I'm aware you have a class that is coming up, Coach. Maybe you can tell my women something about it, and we see.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay,
No, they
so
would want to come on board.
yeah, okay, yeah. So this class is an online class. That means people from anywhere in the world can join this class, and we have made it in such a way that it's so accessible to everybody. So the main platform, we will alternate, platforms, but the main platform is the WhatsApp that we use to deliver this platform. It is held around the time that we started this class, or maybe an hour later, for about 2 hours, for 5 Fridays. 5 Fridays for 2 hours, and you pay $50. That's the investment, and I'm sure that's a subsidized amount for the amount of learning that you're going to do in that class. And you will have the opportunity to meet people from different parts of the world, and you'll be amazed at the situation for women is almost the same in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, everywhere. And so you're going to be tapping into the experiences of different people. You're also going to learn case studies of things that are going to, or I mean, of practical situations where negotiations had to be done, and how you prepare for those crucial negotiations. So yeah, I think in a nutshell, let me say that's what you can expect in that class. And of course, I'll be sharing what I shared here and more.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coach. And I think I have a program that I just started. It's still in the roots, it's still in the germination period. It's called Milestone Queens Network. So the name it's that new. So it's called Milestone Queens Network, and I'm going to be holding shows and events, and maybe one of these days, as we begin, I can also invite you to come and talk to my women. But let it germinate and start growing. Then
Yeah.
I know I will invite you. Maybe you can even come to Kenya. You can visit Kenya. You know, in Kenya we are so lucky that even if you visit just Nairobi, you can be
Yeah.
able to see so many things around here. This is
Ah,
the only city in Africa with a national park. So
really? Okay.
within the
Yeah,
within
yeah,
the
yeah. Well,
city.
I would love to. You should plan to invite me to come there.
Yes, yes, I should. I
I
will.
will come.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much, viewers, for being around all this while. It's been an hour. We had agreed that we are going to do 45 minutes, but we couldn't. And there's still a lot that can be covered. So I know that we will still have Coach back. And thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Coach Lovemore. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you're doing for women. Um, it's known that the culture goes where the woman is, where the woman comes from. So if we don't educate and empower the women, then we are going to have children who are not empowered. So we have to keep empowering women, because they're the ones who nurture life. They're the ones who nurture the children. A lot of things that we know, we were taught by our mothers. So if we do not teach the women, the girls and the women, then we are going to have weak societies, or we are going to continue having weak societies, because there's a lot to be learned. Thank you so much, Lydia. You have been a constant attendee, and you have I can see you've written something. I was really happy to learn about negotiations today. Thank you, sir and Madam Angela. You're most welcome, Madam Lydia. I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad that you have learned something, and many others would come and go. And I know many other people will also be on board, will also view this. And being our first episode, I think we have done well. So claps for ourselves. So thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you.
And
Absolute pleasure, Coach.
yeah,
Anytime I can come.
you're welcome. Where can people find you?
Okay, all right. So people can find me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I want people to visit me on LinkedIn. My name is Lovemore Kuwana. Lovemore Kuwana. I don't know if there was a way I could have shared my link, but if you just type Lovemore Kuwana on LinkedIn, it will lead you to my to my profile. And what I would encourage people to do is to scroll down to the recommendations and read for yourself what the recommendations say about the people that have already attended these classes. Then I'm sure they'll be convinced to come to this class.
Thank you very much. I will
Yeah,
add your link in the comments later after
thank
this,
you.
just after this, so
Okay.
that you can get your link
Mhm.
from the same video. So thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. And we are going to see you again on Friday. I'm going to be sharing a recorded video on Fulfillment Friday. On Monday, we are having Mental Wellness Mondays. And Wednesdays, we are having Wisdom Wednesdays. We are also very lucky. We are going to have another show on Sunday, which is yet to be communicated. So thank you very much and see you around. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. Bye bye.